Yeah, we're up and recording. Welcome and greetings, everybody. Wesley Pepper here. Welcome to the Lexcia podcast, episode 192. And if you anywhere in South Africa, you know that this month is it's Coin Mandela month. It's also my birthday month, so I'd like to feel I have my own name for it. But anyway, we're actually talking to another brand ambassador of the 67 blankets for Nelson Mandela today. The Nelson Mandela Day is on the 18th of July, and it's the 10-year anniversary, and we're going to be talking a little bit about that. So for today, welcome Susun Eslick from KZN, one of the KZN ambassadors. So it is still technically morning. So firstly, Susan, good morning, welcome, and how are you?
Good morning. Very well, thank you. It's good to meet you.
No, it's good to meet you too, man. It's good to meet you too. And thanks for taking up the time and everything. So, like I mentioned just slightly offline, I've spoken to a few ambassadors, I think of the past 2, maybe 3 years, something like that. And but for those of my listeners who not aware of what 67 minutes for Nelson Mandela is about, you can just give us a brief overview on what it's about, and we'll talk about the 10-year anniversary.
Okay, 67 Blankets is all about helping others in the country to be warm in the needed communities. And I have been involved for a number of years, and we really have enjoyed watching the love spread with making blankets, getting to know people in our communities while we're making them, as well as handing out the blankets to those in need. We really have enjoyed sort of getting together in the communities as well to do this, and watching it grow has been phenomenal.
Yeah. There's been a lot of growth. I've covered an event. I think it was could have been this year, where they did a massive blanket in the Eastern Cape region. It was almost
That's March.
almost 2. Yeah, it was in March. There we go. So it was this year. It was almost 2 rugby
Yes, I
fields,
was down there. Yes.
which was just which was substantial. Let's just start the start. Can you just what was your take? What was the event like? How did it go? How was
It was wonderful to all be together
what was the
again.
installation like?
No, it was fantastic. We arrived on Tuesday afternoon to go and lay down the plastic, and then we went down to lay down the blankets on the following day. I think it was 3,500 blankets altogether were laid down in PE, 20% of which were left in the Eastern Cape, and the rest were returned back, and we were able to distribute blankets countrywide, which was phenomenal.
Yeah. That was quite an ambitious project, and I know you guys also. To my memory, you broke the world record, or you attempted to break the.
I don't think it was actually a world record this time. We've done a few. I think there's been about 5 records, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, that's quite something, no? It also speaks to the organization skills behind the team, and I think that needs you guys definitely need your props for that. So, you guys are celebrating the 10-year anniversary. Just tell us a little bit about that.
It's the 10th year that we've
Have you been involved with it for 10 years?
Yes, I think I have been involved from the first scarf one. I was just a nitwit in those days, making the scarves. I still make scarves, believe me. But at that point in time, I was still just sort of learning with the ropes and seeing how other people were doing it and that. And then I stepped up here in KZN when I was asked to go to prison. After that, I decided that it was a good idea to get involved. Where we did Madiba's face at the prison in Johannesburg. And from then on, I have been very involved with 67 Blankets, which has been a phenomenal walk with everybody, getting to know the community. And it's really...
So tell us a little bit about what you do as an ambassador. You have a team below you. How do you guys operate?
I rally around looking for blankets, trying to get wool donations, We get people together in groups and we make blankets and things. As an ambassador, I actually get a lot of the KZN blankets here at home, and then we distribute from here. Obviously, people put their requests out to info at 67 blankets on the email address, and then they tell us who's actually in need of blankets, and we can distribute through that. Yeah.
Yes, something I asked, I think two ambassadors before, and I'd like to get your take on that. So, like you mentioned, like if my memory serves me, you guys have a service provider that provides you with wool, correct?
Not always, no. We're looking for donations for wool all the time. But yes, sometimes we do get donated wool. Recently, it's been from Kismet. Kip McGraw and Durban have actually collected wool for us recently. We've just had a couple of walls of wool given to one of the groups in Westville that get together, but there's about 75 nitwits there. And they will be getting together tomorrow from 9 to 12 at the Westville Methodist Church. And people can go and join in. If they've got nothing to do for 67 minutes for Mandela, they're welcome to go and join people to go and knit and crochet there.
And I can see you got a lovely blanket there over your left shoulder. I take it you knitted
Yes.
it.
No, I didn't actually. I'm just a proud mama bear of all the blankets, I must be honest.
Oh, okay. Well, it looks nice
Yeah.
and warm. So
It
just
is.
one more question on the thing.
Have the
Like, is it
label.
just?
Oh,
Oh, yeah, good. I
yeah.
was gonna ask, is it just scarves you guys are knitting for tomorrow, or is there blankets as well?
No, at this stage, it's only scarves that we're handing out tomorrow, but we are collecting blankets and things to be continued to be distributed because we go around it all year. You know, if there's a request and a need, then we do hand out blankets. When there's an event or something, we hold back a little bit in the hope that we can lay blankets and things down. When we did the Durban event at the Holy Family College, we had 1,400 blankets. I've forgotten the numbers that we laid out
Substantial.
at the event, and those were all distributed before August of 2024. 24, I think so.
Yeah, and for any of my
23.
listeners outside of South Africa, this is literally the middle of winter, so it kind of makes sense as well with regards to the blanket. So, okay, man, let's get into the Nelson Mandela Day 2025. So, can you explain to us what is happening nationally? Just give us an overview of what's
Okay,
happening nationally.
nationally, scarves are going to be hung around the country from Cape Town to Knysna, George, Johannesburg, Mpumalanga, Durban. We will be displaying scarves, and on it we'll have a lovely little goodie saying, "I'm not lost. If you need me, please take me. Made with love." And we're hoping that people who are in need of a scarf will accept a scarf and keep themselves warm. And because it's made with love, it's showing people that there's a community of care. And we would like to share the love with other people, knowing on the ground that there is a lot of warmth in the scarf because it is made with love.
Yeah, I get it. So can you just explain?
I think our country needs it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, globally too.
Absolutely. December
Yeah,
time, the UK, they do it. Michael Angus does a thing around about the 5th of December in memory of the day that Mandela died. They also help feed the homeless and things, and scarves are handed out over there too. That's one I am aware of.
Yeah. I'm familiar that there's little branches out all over. It also speaks to how huge the brand is and how huge the and again, like
Absolutely.
how good the organization is, the team, because to manage literally hundreds and hundreds of people, that's a lot of admin. And it takes a lot.
I think it
Yeah,
goes
you
to
want to
show
say?
how much love there is. to share.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. Let's just bring it back to the national thing. So when you say you guys are actually are going to be giving out the blankets, exactly how, and we will talk about what's happening in KZN. So is there like a specific spot, say
Yes,
like in a CBD, for example, where you are inviting people to
we are going
literally
to
come
Dennis
through?
Hurley Centre.
Okay, yeah. So
We are
so
going to
explain to us
Dennis Hurley Centre.
about KZN.
Sorry, you
Yeah,
broke up
please.
a little bit there. KZN,
Oh
Hillcrest. So, are
no.
you back?
Continue. Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Okay.
Continue.
Hillcrest have been up to the Aid Centre on Wednesday, and they've done theirs a little bit early. And we in Durban are going to go to Dennis Hurley Centre in town, and our scarves will be distributed through the clinic. Where they will be
Okay.
able to see who is in need because there isn't a feeding done on Friday. But we will do a set up and do it with Raymond Perrier on Friday. And then those scarves will be going through to the actual clinics and things, and the sisters will be able to give out to those in need. But as I said, we are also at the Westville Methodist Church doing the knitting and crocheting in public there. And I do know that there will be others, as I say, around the country that will be handing out scarves and things.
Yeah, I mean,
Unfortunately, we had to change the day from Thursday, which is the feeding day, because we didn't have enough scarves to go through the whole feeding scheme, because they are feeding over 300 people a day for lunch. And they also do a second feeding for breakfasts, which is also like 200 people. And we're sitting at about 150 scarves at the
explain
moment.
to me about the feeding scheme. Is it like a soup kitchen?
It is, yeah. And it's been running for a number of years. I was there probably 5 years ago with the Danville Park School, and we actually laid out the plates and things for the people. And it is actually incredible the work that they are doing at Dennis Hurley Centre. There are rooms upstairs that teach. There's a blind man that takes you on a tour of the actual premises if you're interested to go and have a look. And he guides you to each of the different things. There's a clinic on site every day, and they have off-site clinics 5 days a week. So I am very familiar with the Dennis Hurley Centre and how it works.
Interesting.
It
You said
is.
that you guys had too few scarves or too little scarves. Is there always like so what do you guys do in that regard? If you have too little or you have too many scarves, what
Well,
let's just start with too little. What happens if you guys don't have sort of a quota for that or enough, pardon me,
Well,
scarves for that?
we've made a plan to distribute it through the clinic so that the different people can be vetted, that the right people get that need it, should I say the more needy people get it. And when there are too many, then we go and look at other organizations. I mean, when we did the 29 kilometers of scarf in Howick, and one of the records that we actually beat, we handed out to a number of organizations, from children's homes to schools to there were, I can't even remember all the places, but there were a good number of places that were handed out to at the time. So yes, there's always a need. I mean, then we look further. We go to Howick, we go to Underberg, those sort of places. We make sure that we pass along in the right direction of places that are in need.
Interesting. Yeah, so just one more question on the soup kitchen. You say this is an ongoing thing, correct?
Yes, that's correct. They feed Monday to Thursday,
So
breakfast and lunch every day.
every day, sure.
Every day.
Now,
Yeah.
that is pretty cool.
And
That is
and I'm told 220 220 to 300 people for lunch every day.
Sure. Every day.
Mm.
Wow.
Every day.
Now I'm pretty interested. Do you is it also how can I say, is there like a separate ambassador or that sort of deals with the soup kitchen? And do you perhaps know what the menu was like?
Um, I have been for one serving, so I can tell you it was a substantial meal. That there was sort of rice and stew on a plate that was it was a good serving. It wasn't a menial sort of serving at all. Um, and each person, when they have finished, they set them in sort of groups. I can't remember, it was 30 people or so. And there's a number of tables, and they put the food down, and the people come in and they eat. And then as each person's finished their meal and their juice, they go and they rinse their cup and they put their plate into a basin of water so it's ready to be washed for another day. And each of these, can I call them sittings? As they complete and everyone's moved on, the next lot of plates go out and it happens again. So they start feeding at like
Like a
12,
real
half
system.
past 11, 12
Mm,
o'clock in the day.
mm.
And then obviously it goes on until everybody has finished being fed.
Shush.
Raymond
Now,
Perrier is head of Dennis Hurley Centre, as far as I know, and he has been doing a phenomenal job. He's been involved since before COVID.
yeah, man. I just wanted to highlight something that I've picked up, like, and this is just, I keep up to speed with a lot of media across the world and all of that for many reasons.
Yeah.
Um, you don't really hear stories like this. You understand? I mean, a feeder scheme that was
I do.
going on every day. You don't hear. You have to, you either have to know somebody who does it.
Yeah.
Hear it through people. Not even on social media. You
Yeah.
don't you don't
And
you
there's
don't hear
lots of
stories.
them.
Oh my God.
Mm.
That is yeah, man. I just feel like I talk it on this platform. That's also one of the reasons why because on this platform I talk a lot to artists basically every week, and
Yeah.
highlighting on various things within the art ecosystem, and that and those type of news also, it's not really mainstream, but
Mm.
also just, and this is slightly off topic, but it's sort of relating to what we're talking about. um Post COVID, there's this almost a tsunami of negative, bombastic news that is on everybody's feed, everybody's. So I mean, like, it's
Absolutely.
so cool to hear stories like this, man. And like I mean, every day,
Yeah.
yes, yes, man. That's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's also the
I know
university.
there's
So
another
that,
one in Pinetown.
yeah,
There's another
continue.
one I know of in Pinetown, and I think there are little groups that are being fed through the city, through little buckies and things like that. Unfortunately, like you say, I don't think there's enough talk about what is
No,
going on and how people can volunteer to do that kind of thing.
yeah. Let's get into that. How do people volunteer? So let's talk from a national perspective and then regional, where you are based.
For us, you can contact one of the local ambassadors. You can start making your blanket or scarf at home. And once it's completed, let us know and we'll network to make sure that it gets it. I had a comment the other day on Facebook. Somebody asked, they've got one in the South Coast. And we will make a plan to get that to Durban. I just need to know from the people where their blankets are so that we can try and work out which nitwits working knows family in the area, whatever, that we can organize to get it back to us. Or you can PUDO it. But of course, then it costs money, and money could be transferred to wool. So, as far as I'm concerned, the faster we can get the wool made into blankets, the better. So we try to use the network of people that we know that we can get it to us as fast as possible.
Yes, I actually have a question, but I just want to get, before I get to that, the power of having a good network, I think, is also something that I try to talk a lot about on this platform.
Yeah.
especially in
Mm.
the arts. You actually make a living of that with a solid network,
Yeah.
with very good communication skills. Anything is possible.
Absolutely.
Anything is possible. So I just wanted to highlight that. Now I forgot
Yeah.
what I was gonna ask. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. The word nitwit. Uh, to my knowledge,
Yes.
I think, I think the word is there's a. You
Happy
guys
hooker.
branded or own the word.
No.
You guys branded it. But knitwit, to my understanding, that's the name for somebody who's actually knitting the whole time. Correct? That's a that's
Yes,
a that's
exactly.
a
And
term.
most of us crochet, so it's quite funny.
So just first for those that are not aware, what is the difference between crocheting and knitting? Yeah.
Okay. Knitting is with two needles, and crocheting is with one hook.
So
So,
there's anybody. No, continue.
yeah. No, I was just going to say this is the hook is done with one, and knitting is done with two.
So if there's anybody that's looking to volunteer to be part of the organization, do they need to know how to knit or to crochet, or do you guys teach them?
We teach them. We're quite patient with people, and we do refer a lot of people to go onto the internet and look up how to crochet and how to knit because you can stop it and start it. And it helps
Mm,
you at your pace, which is really nice because
mm.
it doesn't take just an hour to learn to knit or crochet. It takes practice. And the more you practice, the better you get. I mean, I used to be told I
Yeah.
was slow. Now people go stare at me and tell me how fast I am, and I'm going, no, I'm just crocheting. It's all right. And they're like, no. But I travel with my crocheting everywhere. I fly with my crocheting. You know, it's wherever I go, my crocheting goes.
Yeah, that's also a very cool sort of creative outlet, like and sort of to keep the right side of the brain sort of active. If you, for
Yeah.
example, you're watching
Mm,
TV, or you're just sitting, you just it's a very good. It's also good for the hands, hand-eye
yeah.
coordination, and in your creativity. It also stimulates creativity, and I'm all for that. For sure, for sure. So,
And you know,
Susan, just like, hmm?
waiting in queues is this is the best saver because you're never wasting your time sitting in a queue. From the licensing department, which seems to have sorted themselves
Yeah,
out, to waiting for your ID, to waiting in the bank. It's amazing.
yeah. Waiting in queues is South African as pop and place, as amapiano, as dancing. Everybody in this country. Me, I'm not a fan of waiting, even in traffic.
Well, start crocheting.
uh,
You'll never complain. No, not in the traffic.
now,
Please don't drive in.
well, yeah, obviously not in the traffic, yeah. Unless you in the driver in the co-driver's seat, then it's another story. I was gonna say, like, my mother was well, she's retired now, but before the school system changed, she was a needlework teacher. Um, so I sort of grew up
Okay.
with a lot of that's sort of where the creativity eventually comes from and all of that. And I grew up with a lot of that. Even my late grandmother was a dressmaker, and I have a
Um,
real appreciation for handmade garments, because, like you guys say in that little plot that you have on the thing, that is made with love. There's this thing that if it just comes from a generic a factory line, it's sort of devoid of any, I guess, any meaning, any, like you say, in any love. There's no humanity in it. Where if it's done by somebody with an actual vision, with actual purpose, I think that makes the world of difference. And I like to believe that with art, in particular, art has a certain energy to it, whether it be color, texture, sound, whatever, and the person who's consuming it picks that up. And I don't think
yeah,
people really talk too much about that on this platform. Of course, we do that, but I just sort of wanted to
yeah.
highlight that. So let's sort of wrap it up, Susan. So you guys say you guys
Sorry,
are, but
before
you said
you
you
wrap
guys,
up, sorry, before you
please
wrap up on that,
go
can I
ahead.
just adding to what you've just said, I
Absolutely.
had
Absolutely.
I had Streetwise come here the one time to collect uh, blankets from me for a group of children that were going down to Annerley for a camp. And the guy that drove the bakkie to come to fetch it had been one of the street children who actually came
Oh,
to collect the things. He had been employed by
okay.
them. And when he
Okay.
walked into my house and saw this pile of blankets that people had made, I cannot tell you the joy on his face to think that people had spent the time and effort into those blankets. And people don't see that side. They don't. You cannot believe how excited he was that he had arrived to fetch these blankets, and we had to clean the back of his bakkie out and put stuff down to put the blankets on for him to take down to Camp Annelie for these kids. And it's little things like that you're saying that reminds me of the stories that unfold that we see as ambassadors that the nitwits don't even always see and hear about. That's why our
Yeah, and I
book was
think it's
such a
very
wonderful
important to
thing.
talk
We could
about
put
those stories.
concepts in. Yeah. No, it is. It's
Oh, yes,
amazing.
yes, that coffee table book. Yeah, yeah, I'm aware of that. Yeah, yeah. No, no,
Yeah.
no, no, you're correct. You're 100% correct. Like, and I feel that those stories need a platform. People should tell. I think it's very, very important. Because, like I
Yeah.
say, art makes a difference. People consume art every day. It's just that
Mm.
most people aren't always aware of it, whether it be music, whether it be writing, whether it be color, texture,
And the
even
joy it
billboards, and
brings. Mm.
absolutely,
But the joy it brings to
absolutely, and it
someone
makes a difference.
making something, it does.
Mm.
Mental
Yeah,
health is a
yeah,
big
and
thing
that,
in this
and
country.
yeah.
And that's what it does for the people making the stuff, even. And bringing people together. They can support one another when they realize that there's a lot of anxiety out there.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Just to add on to that point, because another ambassador I spoke based in Bloemfontein, I think it was last year, said the similar
Yeah.
thing. Like she has a very good group of people,
Yeah.
and yeah, it is very, very, very good for that. And also just to re-highlight that point that you made earlier on. Yeah, yeah. When the person creating the thing is going through a form of healing, or a form of joy, or
Mm.
just being really centered, that goes into the actual product. And the person that
Absolutely.
taking it,
Yeah.
psychologically, subconsciously, pardon me. Yeah. So that is fantastic. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Susan, can you just tell us, like,
Mm.
sort of to wrap up, like it is now. I mean, on 18th of July is the main day. The
Right.
Nelson Mandela Day, pardon me. So, what's happening for the rest of the year? Any
Rest of the
other
year,
projects for the rest of the year?
blankets and more blankets. We're hoping to lay out blankets next year. We're waiting for times and dates and whatever. So the more the merrier, the more squares, the more wool donated. We can get into old age homes and get the school children involved in things if we've got wool donations. So it really does help us to reach out to more people. And you know what? It's a skill. It's a career for some people.
Mm,
Where I've spoken to people
mm,
in communities that have made cushion covers and things that have actually fed them because their mothers haven't had money to do that. And then they've heard of 67 blankets and started crocheting and knitting with us as well. So it's actually
mm.
quite incredible that, you think it's such a simple thing, but there's so much involved in the crocheting and knitting. We don't want to lose it as a
Yeah,
skill because it's something that can feed people.
yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad you highlighted that point over there. I think that's a very important point to highlight. Yeah, no, no, most definitely. So
Yeah,
it's much more than just a scarf. It's much more than just giving out a scarf. It's much more than just happening
absolutely.
once a day. It's
Yeah,
it's this ecosystem, this continuous thing that goes on and on. So that's actually a
yeah.
great way to end today, Susan. Is Eslick. Thank you very much for coming through. Thank you very much for taking your time. All the
It
best
was
for
lovely
the
to meet you.
yeah, thank you, same. Yeah, thank you. And also all the best for moving forward. So what I tell my guests is, like, look, man, I've actually been doing a bit of recording this week, so I'll actually push this episode out next week because I got an episode to publish also still in this week. And then what I usually do is I chop the episodes up into shorts. So we're talking like between 45 seconds to 3 minute clips, which is all over the internet. So, and I usually quite specific there. So for example, the conversation we were having with therapeutic side of it. So clips like that, I'll push out, and I'll tag you on all the social media platforms regarding that, and I'll let you know when it all goes out. And then you can share it and so forth. So once again, thank you very much for coming through.
Wonderful.
And just to my listeners, also all the other information with regards to the 67 blankets for Mandela will all be in the description box below if you missed any of that. So once again, Susan, thank you very much for coming through, man, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Super. Take care. Have a good
Take
one.
care.
Bye.